Hey guys, Pressure Wash America LLC out here in the Houston, Texas area. About to clean some siding with a lot of mold and mildew built up on it. Got Landon over here. Gonna go ahead and show you how the process works. I'm gonna start off just applying again, a chemical at really, really low pressure. This is about the amount of pressure that probably comes out of a sprinkler system. So no high pressure that'll get up and be behind your siding. It's going to damage these windows, get inside your house through those windows, anything like that. You definitely want to avoid all that. Those are all common problems if you're using high pressure. Plus, if you use high pressure, it just doesn't really kill all this mold and mildew. You may be able to rinse a lot of it away with high pressure, but it'll come back a lot quicker, and some of it will survive and just still be kind of hiding in the nooks and crannies of the siding. But this process gets in there, just kills it all. We rinse it all away once it's all dead. And again, because we're not using high pressure at all, there's no risk of damaging anything. Also gets in there and cleans up, the gutters and the soffits and the eaves and everything else. This side has already gotten one coating of the chemicals. So the second coat is going to kind of just rinse off a little bit of the dead stuff that we got through the first coat, and also just kind of apply a little bit more of it. On a house with this much mold and mildew, probably looking at an average of about 3 coats, depending on how much time you allow the chemical to settle between coats. For the purpose of this video, of course, we're going to do them pretty quick, so it may take a few more applications. But again, low pressure, there's some speakers there. Because we're using low pressure, no chance of damaging those speakers. Also, these windows, they're a little bit older. You can see a lot of the mold and mildew rinsing off there right now. And because, again, we're using such low pressure, though, we're not going to get anything inside those windows. In fact, it's going to get the windows a lot cleaner than they were, particularly if we had just used high pressure. So we'll just kind of sit back now and kind of watch the chemicals work their magic. Again, even all of the rinsing is done with really low pressure. And the good thing as well is we're not going to have to get any ladders out here, which can, damage up your siding, mess up your paint. God forbid somebody falls off a ladder, or, we break a window with it or something like that. I mean, there's only bad things that can happen when you start incorporating ladders into, cleaning. Not to mention it obviously takes a lot longer if you're going to do this the old-fashioned way with high pressure and a pressure washer. We should be able to do this whole back siding area in, probably a total of 10 to 15 minutes. Helps us keep our prices down. Helps us get out of your hair. You don't want to be sitting here for hours while we're climbing up and down ladders and pressure washing your house. I mean, you've got better things to do, obviously. You can see how that side's almost completely clean now. I mean, this house was, if you recall, looked like it was almost painted green when we got here. So that's a reminder that's already been treated twice, and that's kind of the way it still looks. So, and the more time you give these chemicals to do their trick, the less coatings you need. But again, for the purposes of this video, we're gonna kind of work quick here for it. See that stuff just completely fall away, and each coat not only rinses off the previous coat and all of the dead mold and mildew, but obviously it's treating the next layer with the mold and mildew as well. Now again, if you hire, your landscaping company, the guy that does your painting, somebody that does sheetrock and lawn maintenance and tractor work and painting and cabinetry and, oh yeah, pressure washing too, he's not going to use this process. Pretty much guaranteed he's going to use high pressure. He's going to use ladders. They're going to be climbing up and down. They're going to be shooting water inside of your windows, peeling off some of your paint. At the very bottom of this, some of the paint is starting to come off, and high pressure would only speed up that process and, obviously make it a lot worse. Certainly not what you want to do. And we'll be able to get that chimney also from the ground. We'll have to kind of go to the side of the house, but that won't be a problem. Again, we're just kind of waiting for it to work its magic. Inside there is pretty much brought back to new. Again, no risk of hurting the speakers, getting water inside the doors or windows because we're using low pressure. This side's getting pretty close to being done. There's a couple of little areas that need another coating or two and or a few more minutes to work, but it's all going to look about as good as brand new by the time we're done here. This house hasn't been pressure washed in at least 5 years or so, the homeowner told me, so once we get it clean, it probably last another 5 years or so before it looks like this. I'd recommend getting it cleaned before it turns out looking as bad as this one did, but it's obviously personal preference. If you don't keep your house pressure washed, every few years or so, you're going to have to end up having it repainted a lot sooner. And even around these doors and windows, that's actual real wood, and it will rot. It will end up having to be replaced a lot quicker if you don't keep it clean, because the mold and mildew retains moisture. That'll end up eating away at all that stuff. So something you definitely want to keep in mind. Nobody wants to have to repaint because of the expense, the time. Getting here, a couple of little spots underneath those windows. Just need a few more minutes for the chemical to soak in and do its work. Go back to this side. Over here, just a couple of more spots. Might need another quick coat. And again, we're at the 6-minute mark here, almost the 7-minute mark on this video. Doing this the old-fashioned way with high pressure would probably take about 2 hours. Plus, again, ladders everywhere, plus water getting inside your windows and your doors. Plus, the results would typically not look as good. They wouldn't last as long. And you risk damaging your paint and messing up the frames around the doors and windows, because again, they are real wood and they will peel if you use high pressure on them. So even this amount of pressure, even when it gets kind of up close like that, it's no more than would come out of a regular garden hose if you stick your thumb over it. Most of this should probably come up here as he's rinsing. Looking pretty good. And again, the same chemical cleans the windows, cleans the gutters. You can actually use it on concrete. It's the final step we use when we clean concrete. Also works on stucco. So there you have it. We'll let this last coat sit for a few minutes. We're only 8 minutes into this video. We'll let this last coat sit for maybe 10 minutes or so. Rinse it off with just fresh water. Rinse off all the windows real well so there's no spots or streaks. And there you have it. That's pretty much the process of using low pressure on cleaning siding, stucco, pretty much any painted surface. Works pretty much the same. You can see it looks almost as good as brand new already. Give it another 10 minutes to work its magic, rinse it all off, and take the pride back